I believe that for many prospective applicants, they normally send out a random amount of applications for interviews. I do not believe that that is the right way to go about it. First of all, why are you interested in a position in that particular organization? Here's what happened when I first arrived in Canada. I arrived on a Saturday, and on Monday morning, I went to the library and I copied a list of the top 14 accounting organizations in Toronto. I wanted an, an accountancy position simply because that was my specialty. And I also knew that in that position, I would develop contacts with firms who may be looking for senior employees, and that would give me a head start. So I knew exactly what I wanted. I knew where to go to find the job that I was looking for. And what I did on that Monday morning, after I prepared the list, I started to call them in turn on the telephone, asking them if they had any positions available. By the time I had reached 2/3 of the list, I got an interview that same afternoon. I went to the interview, and I'll tell you the story of the interview later. But I started work as a professional accountant in Canada on the Tuesday morning. I arrived on the Saturday around noon, and by Tuesday morning, I was at work, earning a salary, having secured a position because of the way I approach finding a job. So I believe that you must have a positive way of looking at why would I want a job with this organization in this position? Simply because I have the technical expertise, or I have the professional background, or I have some peculiar skills, some particular skills that make me an attractive proposition for that organization. And it has never failed me. In every time I have applied for a position, I always knew why I wanted that position in that particular organization, how it would benefit me, and how it would advance my career. The second point that I want to stress is you have to approach any interview that you have gained with confidence. You don't go to an interview hoping you can get the job. You go to the interview knowing that you have the skill and the ability and the knowledge to secure the job. And it shows during the course of the interview. As they question you and they talk to you, your confidence exudes. It creates an aura, an atmosphere around you that makes you very attractive to the interviewers to want to have you as part of their organization. As in all of my positions, I was in an area where I had to recruit either assistant staff or other senior staff for other areas of the organization. And the moment a person entered the interview room, I knew whether that person was going to be a person that I would consider hiring. They exuded the confidence that they have. Here I am, and I am an asset to your organization because I have the skills. I know that I have the skills. I know that I have the ability. I know I have the quality that your organization needs. The third element that I would stress is that an interview is not an interrogation. You do not sit there just accepting the questions that are asked and responding to them with definite answers. An interview is a conversational between adults. So many times in an interview, when you ask an interviewee, do you have any questions? And the interviewer says, the interviewee says, no, I don't. I know that that is a lie. You always have questions. For example, what is the salary? What are your benefits? How do you think I would fit into your organization? During that first interview, I went and I had an interview with the hiring partner. And I explained my technical skills and my background. I did not have a written resume. I explained my technical skills and my background. And when he found it acceptable, I said to him, what is your starting salary? And he said to me, oh, for someone like you, we would start, and remember, this is in 1979, quite a while ago. He says, for a person like you, we would start you at $23,000 a year. I said to him, I said, I'm sorry, but that is not acceptable. I come to you with great skills, with great experience, with a strong background. I would need you to offer me at least $28,000. The interviewer said to me, I know, I'm sorry, that is outside of our range. I said, thank you very much for the interview, but I could not accept salary of $23,000. I went home, and as I got through the front door, the phone rang. It was the interviewing partner. Could you start tomorrow morning at the salary of $28,000? I said, I will be there. It was you see, I was having a conversation with him. He is saying, oh, this is our side. And I'm saying, oh, this is my side. And if we can't find a compromise between you and I in conversation, then there's really nothing, no further developments that we can think of. But also my confidence, my knowledge of my skill and my ability, my confidence, the knowledge of what I have done in my background exuded from me. And it clearly impressed the interviewing partner. I remember too, as part of the coincidence of having a job as a professional accountant, one of the clients was looking for a senior accountant. And my firm, anxious to retain that client, recommended me. And I went, and the managing director sat across the table from me, and we started And he started to talk. And he said, and he called me by my first name. He said, Victor, this is the situation. You know what I did? I said to him, his first name was Les. I said, Les, I fully understand. You see, I didn't say Mr. Collins or Sir, because it was a conversation between adults. He had something that he needed. I had something that could satisfy his need. So we started a conversation. So I recommend that so highly. If the interviewer asks you, do you have any questions? You should have prepared beforehand questions for that interviewer, for that job, for that position that you want to have. Because you know why you want that position, you know what you have to offer. So you begin a conversation, one of the reasons why I applied for this position is because I can offer such and such and such and such a thing. Do you find that attractive? When I ask that question, do you find that attractive? What is he going to say? If he says no, it doesn't fit with us, I said, well, thank you very much for interviewing me. But obviously, our minds, our heads do not match. And I would leave that interview. I have never had that. They've always responded, yes, those are some of the skills we're looking for, but also we need something else. And I would say to them, in my experience, I either can learn that very quickly, or I have had some passing experience with that in previous years. Always it is a conversation. So the three elements are always, why do you want that particular position with that particular organization? Don't send out random applications all over the show, and you're never sure which one you got. Select the organization that you are most interested in maybe 14 or 15. Sometimes you don't know where the job will be, but you are interested in those organizations because they have something to offer you, and you have something that will benefit them. That's why you select them. Secondly, when you go to an interview, you have to have full confidence in yourself. You're not hoping for a job. You're going to the interview, I can offer you something worthwhile. That's why I'm here. I'm not begging. I'm here on equal terms with you. You have a need, I can satisfy the need. And thirdly, an interview is never do not allow it to be an interrogation where you sit there and they question you, what would you do in this situation? Do you have this? Have you ever encountered this? It is have a conversation. Have you ever encountered this? When I was back in Guyana, I had an incident where blah, 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 blah. And so I'm going to involve you in a conversation, or you can say, that particular kind of issue I have never experienced. But because I have these particular interpersonal skills, I think I can handle that exceptionally well. Make it a conversation. So those are the three elements. And if you follow them religiously and you are sure of yourself, I guarantee you will find a job quicker than if you were to send out random applications.